Hey, welcome.
It's your good pals, Jim and Sam.
From Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Great podcast episode today, Sam.
Yes, absolutely, Jim. Today we have Lauren Compton, the host of First Date with Lauren Compton.
Yeah, I did her show and had a great time. I'm glad we had her in.
Yeah, it was really fun to talk to her about all of the horrible horror movies she's done.
Right, with the Nagel brothers.
The only thing worse than one Nagel is two.
I will be in Toronto at Just for Laughs on September 28th, and I'm adding more dates very soon.
Hey, check us out weekday mornings on SiriusXM Channel 103. And if you aren't a subscriber, go get 3 free months by going to SiriusXM.com/Jim and Sam. And enjoy Lauren Compton on the Jim and Sam podcast.
Lauren Compton is here. We were just talking about Britney Spears. Lauren Compton, of course, the host of First Date with Lauren Compton, every Tuesday from your mom's house studios on YouTube and all audio platforms. You just had Jim on as a guest.
I did. Episode is fire.
It was funny, yeah. It was fun.
That's what Jim was saying. He came in, he was like, it was fire.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, it's doing really well.
Yeah.
I've gotten so many compliments. People are like, I love Jim.
Oh, thank you.
And people were asking me to have you on before that episode was even released.
Oh,
they
really?
were like, have Jim on. You can see it in all the comments on all the other videos. So you have to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
See, I try to tell you this. The demand for you is palpable, and you don't believe it.
No, but you're a good host. It was a very fun show. I didn't know what to expect. You're very prepared. I love the studio you do it in. It's like the same place Dr. Drew does his thing, but it looks much different. It's great.
Yeah,
really
thanks.
enjoyable.
I appreciate it.
Do you write questions, or you have people actually doing it for you or with you?
Well, we all developed the show all together. So the menu that we have that I ask questions from is like a big collaboration. Sometimes I'll just come up with a couple, text my producers. I'm like, put these in the menu. And it's truly the whole studio all together is just trying to make that show work.
Yeah.
Imagine that, having cooperation of
It's got to be very nice to have people behind the scenes who help you.
Yeah, no.
It has to be really...
Instead of a room full of saboteurs. That's what we have here.
One day.
No, I wouldn't be able to do shit without that studio.
Right.
How did you come like to get with your mom's house? How did you connect with them?
So I think what I do best is probably sketch comedies. I film those funny little videos that go viral. And I had one that got, I don't know, it was like 20 million views or something. And they saw it and they sent me an email and I thought it was fake. I thought it was just like spam. And it was from your mom's house and it was the president. And he was just like, hey, would you like to sit down and talk about having a podcast? And I was like, delete. It's like,
I don't believe you.
And I went back and I looked at it again and I was like, maybe this is real. And I had a meeting with them and then a year later.
That's how long it takes, though,
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like one of those things that you have a conversation and within 2 weeks you're up and running and here we go.
No.
Right.
There was the whole contract thing.
Yes.
They had Quentin Tarantino's set designer build that set. And then we had to go through mock-ups and the developing the show took 6 months.
Wow.
I filmed like 20 episodes you'll never see, us trying to
Really?
figure out what we were going to do.
What was the most opposite thing you did from what you finally did?
Sports talk?
Imagine. I think it originally started as me not having anyone on the show, just talking to, was it Collins and replying to emails,
Like voicemails and
kind
stuff?
of being like a female Dr. Drew.
Sure.
And I was like, this is not my area of expertise.
Right, you're better off interacting with people instead of just going by emails. You might as well talk to the person who sent the email.
Yeah. And then we tried to do some interview style stuff, and they didn't like the interview style process for me. So we came up with First Date, where it was just like really pointed, and I talked to someone about what it's like to date them, and yeah, made it.
It's kind of amazing that the podcasting industry is going that professional.
Yeah.
Right? Like
That studio, by the way, is it's an operation.
Right.
It's an
Like,
operation.
there was a time for a long time where it's like a podcast was just picking up a microphone and shitting into it and seeing what happens, right?
Right.
But everybody did it. So it's like the idea that like some smart comics have professionalized it and brought it up is very, very good.
Having Tarantino's set designer, because the set is noticeably nice.
He did ours too.
Like, that is true, yeah.
I can tell the lighting,
Right.
the vibe.
Right. It's not like the stale studio. It's just been sitting here for
Yeah,
10 years.
The cameras that are not even on, by the way.
No.
It's just
no,
good
that's not
stuff.
what's happening. That's not it.
How long did he take to kind of get what you guys wanted?
So I was really specific with kind of like how the vibe that I wanted. I wanted like Moroccan lights hanging and like red velvet curtains and this whole warm vibe with warm lighting. I don't know. I was really, really specific with it. And it took him 6 months.
Wow. And he was coming there back and forth? Or
He mocked up like a video, or what is it, like a photo where it was like a concept drawing. And then we went in and out, and I had to be so specific with everything, even on the bar, because everything that was in the photo was going to come to fruition. So if there was anything at all that I wanted to change, I had to tell him. And if I'll show you a picture of the mock-up versus how it came out, the mock-up is exactly like that.
Yeah,
photo.
it's really nice. I mean, it's very comfortable, and it is warm. So when you sit down, I like the way the mics are too. They're just kind of there, and everything is great. Do you use overhead mics too, or no?
No,
Just the regular mics. Okay.
there's the overhead lighting, but yeah, I had to make sure that the microphones were sideways because I didn't want it to cover up my face or my cleavage.
Right. Yeah, no, that's very smart.
You know,
Those are the two things on
Smart.
myself I actually do want to cover.
Yeah. No, I was like, I want this show to be very visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the way, you've been in Playboy, and these are the questions I'm asking you. So do you use overhead mics?
know,
I mean,
yeah,
I truly am an asshole.
Just like reading some of the stuff that the guys put together
It's
about her, and I'm
yeah.
like, he's asking about set design.
I'm just curious. Can I?
Well, it's a sick ass set.
It
no,
is.
I mean the set looks great and everything.
And
It's
I
like,
took note of it, like how great it looks.
I'm literally reading a sentence that says she has had her toes sucked and enjoyed it, but it is not her preferred fetish because she thinks she has weird ET toes. And I'm hearing about like, yeah, the overhead mics are good.
Yeah, but why do you think you have ET toes?
I don't think I do. I know I do. I have one toe on my right foot. It's the one to the right of the big toe.
The second one, it's like Morton's toe. It's called or something.
Is that what it is?
It goes longer.
But on my left foot, it's not longer.
Oof.
Oh.
On my right foot, it is longer, and it looks like, pull up ET's finger. It looks just like ET's fucking finger.
Does it
dude.
light up on the end?
I have had people give me ET stuffed animals as birthday gifts.
Oh, that's cruel.
Because that is what my toe looks like on my
Oh,
right
wow.
foot. It's so ugly.
It's so gangly.
That's not a
It's
bad
so
thing.
gross.
That's how you know you're good looking. No one to say, "Oh, like, trust me, you don't
I
want to
know.
see the big toe on my right foot." I mean, if that's all you have going wrong.
I have a single toe that is unattractive.
It is awful.
Yeah.
It's also like the difference in a half size bigger. Like my left foot is a 7 and then my right's a 7.5. You know when you go buy shoes, they check them to make sure that they're the same. I've tried to slip in a 7.5 in that box before, and they always catch me.
You have to buy separate shoes.
I've done that only one time, and it was a really expensive pair of heels. But I'm walking around this universe in a 7 and a 7.5.
Yeah.
What is going on?
No, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. Especially because you were an octagon girl, right?
For like 2 weeks.
All right, but still, you got to walk professionally. And you got, like,
In a
feet
circle.
that are 2 different sizes. That's got to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Do you like that job?
I thought it was really cool. So they were making a TV show called Octagon Girls, and the original 2 are brunettes, and they brought in me and another blonde to stir up some controversy. You know how reality always is.
Nice.
And if the show got picked up, we would be offered contracts, but the show didn't get picked up, so I never did a ring girl job again.
I love that. You're like, I'll be a ring girl, but only for the reality show.
Oh, of course.
Like, I'm not actually
I don't
just gonna
give a
do that.
shit about your UFC, okay? Like, you have to offer me a really shitty contract with reality TV,
Right.
and then I'm in.
Then I'll do it.
Now, was it like that was part of the show? Okay, this is her first time doing this, or she's brand new doing this?
For UFC?
Meaning, like, was the reality show based in just Octagon Girls, or hey, here's somebody who's just starting doing this as well?
I had never done it. I mean, they literally, it was like, you go to an audition. It was just an audition. I can't even remember. It was so long ago, or maybe they reached out to me, but they were just trying to create a controversial reality show. I had never walked in a circle like that before.
Yeah. Has anybody that you've ever dated been like, what's the deal with this toe here?
What about it?
Like, have they been like, this is...
Is it my secret?
Right, or has somebody actually... Is this an insecurity that you have, or has somebody actually been like, this is a weird toe you got?
I don't think anyone's actually pointed it out.
Right.
But that's just because men love to get laid.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And they're like, you could have...
They haven't tried negging you with
No.
your toe?
Trust me, no one has even told Heather Mills she's missing a leg.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
no one has pointed it out. It's definitely something that I notice on myself.
I got you.
Will you tell them? Like, I warn people. Like, I like to get it out of the way, whatever I don't like about myself, just to know it's been said, and I want you to know that I'm aware of it. So will you tell them, like, yeah,
That's not a good strategy. I mean, people, then it's like, oh, I wouldn't have even noticed
I
that.
probably not, but yeah.
It's like, now that's all I see.
I have told people before, like, I'll be sitting on the couch and I'll have my toes out and I'm like, do you want to see something really weird? And usually they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll just, like, pull the blankets so that my toes pop out and I'm like, look at the right one. And then there's this awkward moment and I'm like, do you still like me? And then usually it really works.
That's a good test.
That's also got to be nice to know, like, you know that no guy is going to walk away because of that. Like, there's no guy. There's got to be nice, like, my worst quality, like, you're not going anywhere.
Unless it grates on them. You know what I mean? At first, like, of course I still like you. And then they go to bed that night and they're thinking about the toe. And then they wake up the next day and they're thinking about the toe. And eventually it's all that they see. It's a risk.
Yeah. Most of the guys that I date have much prettier feet than I do.
Or if you get to a knockdown, drag out fight, that's what they pull out. You and your fucking toe. Like,
Yeah.
that's the one fucking nuclear bomb they're waiting to drop.
They're
the
talking to their
insecurity,
friends.
yeah.
They're like, God, that girl had an ugly fucking toe. I couldn't imagine still being with her.
What kind of viral videos do you make?
Just like funny sketches.
Okay, like
really short 10-second videos.
Oh.
Like, let's see. Watch this one with the white t-shirt down to the right, second from the bottom on the right. Yeah, like that's a perfect example. So that's getting the mail in Texas.
It's just you walking outside the house?
Yep.
That's right. Oh,
It's hot?
Hot and humid.
the humidity, yeah.
Doesn't take very long. Really stupid shit
Yeah.
like that.
It's good. I always marvel at people who can, like, I feel like the whole Vine generation started it. And
They did.
It's just like a different skill set when you can come up with
A story.
a story in 10 to 15 seconds where it's actually funny. I marvel at people who can do that because I could never.
It's insane. People
Yeah.
who could do like 10-second, 6-second videos. I could never.
No.
Like, I would be going, okay, guys, I'm going out for the mail.
And
And
the
I would just
video's
lose
over.
everybody. Boo.
Well, you have to have hair to get that one.
That's
Yeah, I couldn't
true.
have pulled that one off no matter how much time I had. But still, it is hard to do in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I feel like that's my forte. But they're like act outs.
Right.
You know? It's just like if you were to talk about something in stand-up, only instead of any dialogue, I'm just acting it out as quickly as I possibly can.
Sketch comedy is hard, though. Like, it's really, like, bad sketch comedy is unwatchable, and good sketch comedy is fucking unbelievable, but it's not easy to do, and most people are not good at it.
It's the editing. You have to know how to edit to do some stuff like this. Like, there's some other videos, like the one that has 42 million up there on the right. Like
Oh, no
that
big deal.
Like,
No big
that
deal.
one is mostly just editing and timing and lighting and camera angles.
What's the title of the video?
Is this like what marriage is like?
Is
or
this marriage or is my hand just broken?
Oh, it's you clean the
So
toilet.
every time I try to put the ring on, like I'm married, I'm just like a housewife.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
And then when I take the ring off, I'm like back to.
But look at that. The whole story is there
Yeah.
in 10 seconds.
10
It's brilliant.
seconds.
It's brilliant.
And then the ring goes in the garbage. Yeah, the
I
whole
love it.
story is beginning. You know exactly where it's going, and it's over in 10 seconds.
It's like a mini movie.
Yeah, but you know who used to do those? Will Sasso would watch the things that he would. Is that his name?
Yeah, 100. No,
On
Will Sasso.
Vine.
No, I'm just laughing because when he popped the lemons out of his mouth.
He
He was brilliant.
The other stuff that he was doing, no, but he would do like a whole. He would just pick something and be done in 6 seconds. And I was like, I just could never pull that off in 6 seconds.
Yeah, he had a whole thing.
Watching someone be that funny and that quickly and change directions that many times.
Where he would the setup would be there, and then he would pop a full lemon out of his mouth. And
It was
that would be
weird,
a whole-
yeah.
It was great. Look,
Ow!
he's a genius.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it's just. It's very funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Right.
but to do it in a short period of time is just, and you're smart because I've never mastered that, so therefore I've just kind of gone by the wayside.
You have.
Of course.
Yeah.
My social media, 0 engagement.
That's okay.
That's what it is.
Well, Will's doing good for himself.
Do you pay attention to what people say? Like, do you care? Do you go and like read comments and respond to them?
I'm that
Engagement?
toxic. My toxic trait is that I read the comments.
do?
Yeah.
And it bothers you or it doesn't?
It's the weird shit that bothers me. Like when people, like the other day, someone said I had big feet on Twitter. They
Your
were like,
feet are a
wow,
thing.
you have big feet and heavies up top. And I was like, I'm
Heavies?
a 6.5 shoe, but you're right about the triple D's up top.
I thought
Yeah.
you were 7 and a 7.5.
Well, shut up. I guess I do have big feet.
That's not even big. I mean, like 9s
But
are
isn't
big.
a 7 small?
Yes, that's a very average
It's
foot.
like a size 9.
Well,
when
you
a
just
girl's
went
like,
from
I'm
small
a
to
9.
average. Yeah.
That's a boat foot.
Yeah. 7.5
Like,
is starting to inch towards.
You can't tell me I have big feet. Like shit like that pisses me off.
Yeah.
You can tell me
don't
that I
like
like you can tell me you don't like my personality. I'm
Right.
not she's not a funny comedian. Like women aren't funny. I'm like, okay, well maybe I agree. Like I'm probably not that funny sometimes. But the feet?
Yeah, that's
Don't
That
come
hurts
for
you.
my feet, dude.
yeah, on them, but not.
You know how that is. You know how I am with that. That's my sensitive spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just someone being a dick.
Yeah.
That's just someone being a dick.
Well, luckily now that you've let people know that's what you're sensitive about, they'll probably leave it alone. They won't mention
Yeah,
it
they'll avoid talking about it.
ever again. I'll go, oh no, this might hurt her feelings. I won't.
Yeah.
I won't bring this up. Well, how many episodes deep are you into the podcast officially?
7.
7.
You only done 7?
No, 9.
9.
9 was just released on Tuesday. You were 8.
8.
Who was 9?
Trevor Wallace.
Okay.
So have you? The interesting thing about podcasting though is like to go from short snippets and stuff where you can kind of just show exactly what you want to show and that's it, to like long form podcasting is now everything that you say is going to be out there. So now there's like an hour of stuff for people to comment on, and all of a sudden, like, you know, I feel like with a lot of people, when you're doing 10-second videos, they can kind of shape whatever image of you they want.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, okay, this is exactly who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Has the audience changed? Have the comments gotten different?
The comments on the podcast have been awesome.
Good.
Outside of Instagram. I don't know why people just love to freaking hate on Instagram, but on YouTube, I guess where it matters,
Right.
the comments are fire. They're just really awesome. People are loving the show. Instagram, they're like, who the fuck is this girl? She needs to go away.
They're being dicks.
Yeah, but it's like literally only on the YMH Instagram page.
But it's also funny with like your mom says, it's like we're just adding. It's not like you're replacing
Right.
somebody.
Yeah.
It's just we're adding.
But I think it's weird when people feel so connected to the studio, like the outside audience,
Right.
and they feel like they run the show.
Right.
And so bringing in someone new, it just ruffles the feathers.
I also think there's something about podcasting that's so like, I don't know, like intimate,
Like
right?
territorial almost.
Right, and territorial where like Tom Segura, right? Like everybody thinks that they're his friend. Like he's in their head as his friend.
Yeah.
And so the fact that like his company goes like, no, you get a podcast. Now I'm at home going like, he's my
we
friend. He
didn't
didn't
talk
give me a
about
podcast.
this.
Yeah.
None of us agreed on this. This was not a group decision. Who decided to bring the fucking blonde, big-titted bitch in here?
That's right. That's
what
right. So you
Travis
got
said
my
before.
comment. Yeah.
Like, that's how they are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you guys hating on me?
But it's just you're an extra person in the family now, and they don't like it. That's all. There's
Yeah.
nothing. And eventually they'll get used to you and like you, and go, I didn't like you first, but now I do. And then the next one that comes in after you, fuck them.
That's
That's
they're
right.
the new.
Yeah,
So that's the only backlash I've seen at all.
and that's not even bad.
No, but that's typical, I guess, of Instagram. But the rest
Yeah,
of things,
Yeah, it's good, but you might have to stop reading comments.
I've stopped on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
Because it's just never nice.
No.
And
it
I'm
doesn't,
like,
it's not helpful.
no.
Right.
I mean, and no one's talking about my feet in there.
And that's what you want. If you're going to talk about
If-
something.
Yeah, if you're going to hurt my feelings,
Hurt
it
through
needs
the
to be
feet.
something I've got calluses built up with.
And literally on your feet, there
On
are
my
calluses.
feet. You corns.
Yeah.
Like, just kidding.
And it was a good
So
show.
gross.
It was a fun show to
Bunions.
do. It was a very easy conversation, and you were prepared, and it was fun. Like, it was a really easy show to do. I like doing it. So people are just being dicks for no reason. They're
Yeah.
not- there's no, like, legitimate reason to be angry at this show.
But I respond to, like, positive comments. Like, I've responded to a few on the YouTube page.
Except questionable guest choices. That's the only flaw in the show, specifically episode 8.
I think episode 8 was a fine guest choice. But the studio is very impressive. I don't know how long they've been in that, but it's like these guys that are doing podcasts right, like they just own buildings. You just go and it's building
It's like
6.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it really
like
is.
a
It's
studio lot.
Studio lot, yep.
Yeah.
Very nice. They have their studio, and then you see 2 bears, 1 cave, and then,
But
So
Lauren's.
fancy.
It's dangerous, though, right? Because some people go like, that's what I got to do. I'm going to get a studio space. I'm good. And it's like, bro, you didn't even start a podcast yet. You have no money. Do not just go and like rent a studio space and like build a set and just go like, yep. And then the audience will pour in. Build a little something first.
Yeah.
Right? Like your mom's house was like, you can just go back and watch the progression of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just start at level 8.
Well, it didn't start in a professional
That's
building
what I mean. That's what I'm
studio, yeah.
saying. Like there are other, yeah. That's the hiccup that I see sometimes is that people are like, oh yeah, that's what I'll do exactly that, and it's like not yet. Pace
Yeah.
yourself. Pace yourself.
How many? How have they been doing video since the beginning?
What do you mean?
Have they always used video on your mom's house?
I think so.
All right, yes, they just.
I mean,
started
as long as
I don't
videos have
know
been popular.
their history.
Yeah.
I would imagine so. I mean, their studio's set up so beautifully for
Yeah,
it.
it's nice, really nice. I was very impressed. I haven't seen Joe's new place in Austin. I haven't been there yet.
I haven't either. You mean Mothership?
Yeah, no, I've been there, but
I was
haven't.
gonna say I thought you.
Yeah,
show
yeah.
there.
That's why I was in town.
Yeah.
But I haven't done this. He was in Greece, so I didn't do the podcast. But I want to see his new studio.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, looks good.
That looks fucking great.
There's stars on the ceiling.
I know he builds all that weird shit. Like he has a place to shoot, like for archery, all this weird stuff, like what a kid would do.
Yeah, Joe's wild because like he builds out this incredible studio space and like all this stuff, and then you see like 5% of it on camera. Like it's not even
Wow.
for the camera. It's just because
For fun.
Yeah, he wants to have all this stuff, and I'm like, that's exactly what you should be doing.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
just things you can do, like without going in publicly. If you want to work out, here's a place to work out. If you want
Right.
to do this, you can do it here without having to leave and be, I guess, bothered by people.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've like listened to that podcast and people have been like, "Yeah, the ceiling looks awesome in here." It's like you don't even show the ceiling.
Yeah.
You don't see the ceiling.
Are you in New York just to promote this, or are you like doing gigs?
I'm just here to promote. Just doing like a series of podcast shows. Taking a little break from stand up. I need a minute.
Why was it? Did you not enjoy it?
No, I love it. I'm like a little overwhelmed with podcasts and sketches, and it's like doing all 3 is so incredibly time consuming, and I just had to omit one for like 3 months. Also because I went on like 2 international tours last year, and like every single night performing, and I just kind of got a little burned out.
Where'd you go?
The 2 tours were in London.
Nice.
That's nice. Yeah, I've done 2 shows there. One in Manchester, 2 in London, 1 in Manchester. It was nice. I wish I had spent more time. I just kind of did it to do it.
I
see
was there
Big
for
Ben?
like a month.
You see Big Ben?
No, I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't do anything touristy. I wish I would have been at least a week or 2 weeks so I could have went around and,
See the beef eaters?
I don't know what the beef eaters are.
They're the palace guards.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
no, I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would look at them, but what am I going to do with them? See them for a minute and go, hey, the guy's standing there.
Look at that hat, huh?
I love when they attack people, like when people go too far and like touch them or do something they shouldn't do.
It's very rare, but when they do
Oh,
finally
yeah.
snap, they're ready.
Those-
Yeah.
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 They have knives and spears. Those guys don't
Or
fuck
they
around.
pass out.
They do pass out once in a
That
while.
has happened. Yeah, that's happened.
And the rest of their asshole friends just keep walking. It's like, could you be people and just help the guy
No,
up?
of course not. They're like they're soldiers. They're there for a task. That guy's weak. He's
Yeah.
going to be left behind.
I guess so, yeah. And I guess finishing the task is more important. I just think it's kind
Yeah.
of silly.
Gotta
They had a
protect
job
the
to
king.
do. Yeah.
What did you do when you were there?
The first time I was there for a month, and I would do some touristy stuff during the day, and then I would go perform at night.
Were you doing stand-up or sketch?
Stand up. I was doing all stand up.
How was it?
It was good. Luckily, I had an assistant that was there with me, so she really helped do some like filming and like social media and stuff.
Oh,
like
you're
that.
doing it for like
So,
clips and stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of that really helped. Yeah. I don't know. It was fun. But
Yeah.
and then I went back again. I think 6 months later, and I did another 2-week run.
When you were at Playboy, like how long were you there for? And why did you leave?
I was in Playboy for 4 years. I was in 4 special editions and on the cover. I got offered to be a playmate, but the contract was awful. It was like 2 years exclusive. I couldn't work for any other commercial brand. No, nothing. I was exclusively sold to them, and I was like, I'm not going to do this. I had a role on a TV show at the time. I was like, I'm not going to give up my role.
Oh, they wanted you to have to give up the
everything. They wanted to own me exclusively, and then if say Bud Light wanted to pay me $10,000 to do a social media post. Yeah. They could approve it or deny it. And if they were like, no, we don't want you to do that, then I lose out on brand money. So I don't know. The contract just sucked. But that wasn't why I left. That's just why I did the cover. So the cover had no contract. So I did the cover instead of centerfold. And then I left because 4 years in, I got a text message from the casting director. And he was like, hey, we have this opportunity. It's $25,000 a week. And you're going to be hosting a party for 6 weeks. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah. They're like, okay, great. You have to come into the studio today, get your hair done. Like, we're going to test all your different outfits, make sure everything's good. Cool. So we do all that. It takes 8 hours. And then I go into a room and I sit there. It was a long table with 8 producers sitting there. And they hand me a script. And they're like, just read through the script and we'll just make sure everything's good. And then we start tomorrow. I'm like, cool. Open the first page and it's like, hi, my name is Lauren Compton. Do you think you can suck dick better than me? And I'm like,
By the way, I didn't mean to shoot my hand up.
I'm like, what is this kind of party? And they're like, oh, it's like an orgy.
It's like an orgy.
It's like all these people are going to be having sex and sucking dick. And then you're just going to walk around with a microphone and ask people how they're doing. And I go, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think I might be doing that.
It's not exactly ease wild on.
Yeah. And this guy slams his hands down. He stands up and he's like, we start in 24 hours. And I go, you start in 24 hours. I won't be here. And they're like, if you don't do this, you are never coming back. And I was like, you can't fire me.
Nice.
I quit.
Yeah.
And then I stood up and I walked out and I never went back.
That's great. Like,
Did it feel powerful?
So powerful.
It felt awesome, right?
It felt so good.
That's awesome.
What confidence to turn down the centerfold and then walk out on I guess what was $150,000 gig because you just didn't like the content. That's very confident in yourself. That's great. I like that.
You should also be told if you're going to host an orgy.
Of course.
It was like they pigeonholed me, or what was it?
Yeah.
Cornered me.
Yeah.
They cornered. They
Hey, it
want.
starts at you already decided it starts at 24 hours. You don't want to. You got to. We just go do an orgy real quick.
The amount of pressure, I don't give it enough credit, but sitting there after 8 hours of hair and makeup and imagining as a 24-year-old, I'm gonna have $150,000 in 6
All
weeks.
in.
And so I'm just my head was just going nuts, and then I realized, oh my god, if I do this, I'm forever gonna be
the orgy reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the fact that there was going to be hardcore sex there and it was just too much?
It was straight porn.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't have a problem being naked out in the universe, but porn,
It's a different deal.
Actual porn.
Yeah, that's a weird connection.
This wasn't beautiful nude modeling in
Right.
Argentina where they had taken me before.
Yeah.
This is on the rooftop with literally 10 couples banging, and I'm supposed to walk around. Hey, how's that dick tasting?
Right. Just beaches
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, cute pussy. What
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, how do you do
That's off-brand.
6 weeks of that?
I don't
Where do you go
know.
contextually? What do you say? After, how's the blowjob? Is he a good fuck? Is she great? Then what do you do?
I haven't got a clue.
How'd they find 6 weeks worth of orgies in one fell
That's a great
swoop?
point.
I think that,
Great
I don't
question.
know, was it a competition? Who could last the longest? Was there an
That's-
elimination process? I didn't read the rest of the script.
Right.
Were they the same couples? I would like to know if they were the same couples coming back, or were they new people every time in a different location?
And maybe you make connections with them, oh, that's my friend. We met
Yeah.
first day. It's been 6 weeks of orgies, and we have connected.
I just don't know how you talk to people while they're having sex too. Just
Yeah, get the fuck
some
out of
dude
here.
just
What-
banging a girl
Yeah.
out from the back. What?
Yeah,
Plus,
being
it's-
interviewed.
It's already you got to as a man, you have to perform in an orgy scenario where there's all these people around.
And then
now
someone's
you got
distracting
some
you?
asshole with a microphone going what are you doing? Would you leave me alone?
If I
I'm
was in that-
concentrating, that's what I'm doing.
If you walked over to me and my partner, it would be like, Jim, what's wrong? Nothing. I just need a minute. I need a minute. It's not working. Yeah, I can't do that in front of people. No.
Yeah.
I don't perform well under pressure at all.
Yeah.
I'm still to this day. They got another model to do it though.
They did. How did it look? Did you actually watch any of it?
I didn't. I didn't. I wasn't subscribed to the TV channel.
What's
Sure.
it called?
Playboy TV.
Playboy TV.
Oh no, the actual show.
I haven't got a clue.
Oh.
I mean, this was like literally 10 years ago.
Right. So,
So I don't even really remember. I don't remember the name of the show. I never read past that first line. I
Yeah.
just remember how upset everybody was. And when I tell you that I left that office and I never got another call,
Good for you.
never got another call.
I never went to the Playboy Mansion. I could never get the invite. I had a friend who was in Penthouse and Playboy, and she tried to get me just to go up there. And they were like, "No, they said you're not famous enough." I was like,
Aw.
What?
I know. I was like, "All right."
I went there
fuck 'em."
with Big A. Big A.
I know. Yeah, I didn't mention that.
That's where I met John Lovitz.
Shout out to John Lovitz.
Are you friends with John Lovitz?
I was until I hurt his feelings, and then he hated me.
How'd you hurt his feelings?
Well, he's a hoarder.
Yes.
Did you know that
I
about
didn't
him?
know
I did
John
not
Lovitz
know,
is
but
a
I understand
hoarder.
being a hoarder.
He's
yeah.
a crazy hoarder.
Like not just collectible stuff.
A hoarder.
Okay.
And he was helping me with some stand-up and stuff, and I went over to his house, and I offered to help him sell some of his stuff. And I was like, I think I can help you, like, get rid of
They said
a
literally
little
that-
bit of this clutter.
This is a scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I was like, this is, like, a lot. And he had a lot of memorabilia about himself in
Yeah.
there. Like, he had his own little bobblehead. And
From the
then-
critic?
I don't know.
I'd freak out if there was a whole bunch of critic shit in
He
that
just
house.
had a whole, like, it was like everything that anyone had ever made of him
Right.
was in his house. And he was so nice and all of this stuff. And I asked if he wanted me to help him sell some stuff, and he got his feelings hurt.
He didn't like that.
He did not like that. He
He's
felt
like,
like I
why
was
would-
coming in and like trying to change who he was. And I was
Wow.
like,
That's a lot.
I swear to God, I'm just trying to offer to like help you out a little
Yeah.
bit. And he just got really offended, and
Stop talking to you.
yeah, he like cut me off. He was just did
Because you
not.
wanted to sell his bobbleheads.
I really hurt his feelings.
I
doing
have
that.
stuff that people have made me, like a lot of fan shirts and stuff, but I keep them in the base. I can't display them.
You
Yeah.
keep them?
Yeah, I don't like to throw anything a fan has given me out, but again, you put it in a little storage thing.
Probably
and you
so
just-
few and far between.
I wouldn't like to point possibly. Yeah, there's been a couple. Yes, I have a drawer filled with 20 years of fan.
It's a bedside table.
There's 2 shirts and 1 note telling me to kill myself. Actually, sorry, 2 notes, 1 shirt. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's nice. I don't like to throw stuff out, but I wouldn't like to look at things of myself. I just wouldn't be comfortable doing that.
And to be clear, I was never trying to get rid of his personal
Sure.
memorabilia. It was like just random, like it was like a storage unit.
But
Like,
also,
just-
like, were you being, like, very forceful about it?
No.
Yeah. Did you walk in and
no.
go, "What is this shit"?
Let's get
No!
rid of all of it.
No way.
Right.
What? How did you say? Because he might think like, "This is my place. This is where I live," and then you come in and go, "By the way, I'd be happy to help you sell some of this stuff." And he was like, "What the fuck? How did it come
He
up?"
was even mentioning it. He's like, yeah, I got a lot of stuff just kind of hanging around here. And I was like, yeah, if you ever like want some
Oh,
help.
I know what happened.
What?
He probably was like, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff hanging around here. And he thought it was like, because it's his stuff, you were going to be like, oh, yeah, it's so cool. You did this, you did that, like a little ego thing. And instead, you're like, yeah,
Oh.
let's get it the fuck out of here. And he
Yeah.
was like, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
But his house reminded me a lot of the Playboy Mansion. It was kind of old, huge.
Oh, not like not the good stuff.
No.
More the bad.
I'm sorry, John. But you did cut me off. I'm like the bitter ex-girlfriend. No, but
John
it's like,
Lovitz won't return my texts.
and I thought he was so freaking funny.
He's the
Yeah,
I
he
was
is
like,
funny.
man, he took me out to all the comedy clubs, kind of showed me around, and then just cut me off. And I was like, fine, fuck you. Someday
is
in
weird.
the future, I'll be on a Sirius XM radio show, and I'll just tell everyone.
That's
It is
right.
weird
You're
what
a hoarder.
what people's Achilles is. Like we all have things. Isn't that weird? Like that's your thing. Like
Right.
hey, you offended his stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that happens. Like, we all have a thing that like, hey, not that. Anything but that.
Yeah.
No, that's true. If
Yeah.
you came in my house and you were like, oh, you want to get rid of some of this wrestling stuff? I'd be like, oh, yeah, right after you get the fuck out.
No, I wouldn't. I would actually just kind of go. I'll go. Yeah. Let's talk about it later. I would just not get rid of it. I don't think I'd throw someone out.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
I get it. Somebody walks in and sees Kiss posters and goes, "What are you doing with these?" I'd be like, "You're right. I have no answer."
You have more than one Kiss poster?
Yeah. It's just, we all collect what we collect. Do you collect anything? Are you not a hoarder at all?
When I was younger, I collected Pez dispensers.
That's when you were younger.
I don't think I collect anything other than
shoe liners,
shoes to cover up the toe.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I got to make sure I keep my secrets hidden. Although it's not really hidden anymore. It's out there.
You tell everybody.
I tell everyone.
That's what most comics do. Whatever
you
don't like, just make sure they all know it so they can't figure it out.
Just waiting for the day that someone's like, "Can I take a picture with your toe?" You and your toe. And it's just like their face and my foot.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure a lot of guys would do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna come to that.
So the mansion, what was the Playboy Mansion like? Did you was it overrated or was it,
It was
a
like
great
John
place?
Lovitz's house a little bit.
Kind
It
of,
was
yeah,
just
with
like John
naked people
Lovitz's
instead of hit
house.
bobblehead dolls.
Massive and dusty. It was a Playboy Mansion is always going to be iconic. It doesn't even matter if it was a shack. That's where so much went down. And I mean, guys would go over there and there was like the pool house and people would go back in the pool house and hook up, all these like celebrities and all the playmates. And it was free for all. He had a big movie room where like just 30 playmates would go and watch movies at movie night. And it was like him and his 2 guy friends. One of them was something Armstrong.
Neil?
Was he still alive for a while?
Tim?
No. He was for a while. He did live for a while.
I don't remember who it was. God, it was some other guy. He died too. But yeah, it was just big and dusty.
Was he
But
nice
he
to
had a
you?
wait staff. No, he wasn't. Straight up, that guy was a dick. So when he was getting married to Crystal, he originally wanted to get married. I think it was Holly.
Right.
But then she fell in love with Chris Angel.
She fell in love with. Imagine losing your girl because she fell in love with Chris Angel. That would suck.
She did. She
That'd
moved
be
to
the
Vegas.
worst.
Wow.
And then he stole her heart. And so she didn't want to marry.
The mind freak took your girl.
Is she
That
still with him?
sucks.
I don't know if she's still with him. That's a good question. But so then he went for second best, one of his other 3 girlfriends. And
Yeah, but we forget Hef was not exactly handsome in his 80s.
No,
He was a good-looking guy, but I mean, by that point,
damn.
Hef used to eat M&Ms and drink Pepsi all the time. That's awesome.
yeah.
What were we?
You was only the second best.
You were just
So
saying
he
that
went
he
to
lost
marry-
his girl to the mind freak.
Yeah, he lost Holly, but then went to Crystal, and then on his wedding day, she didn't show up.
Oh,
And it was like the
Hef.
runaway bride kind of situation. She got cold feet and she didn't go. And a lot of people thought it was like a hoax. Like, oh, this is just a press stunt
right.
or
Maybe they're
whatever,
doing a reality
publicity
show or-
stunt.
yeah.
But it was true. Like, she really didn't show up to the wedding. And I met Hugh Hefner that week. So he was in a very bad mood. He was wasted. He was drinking whiskey just straight when I went over there. And I remember meeting him and I was like, "Hi, my name's Lauren. Like, you've given me a lot of opportunities. Just want to say it's nice to meet you." And he was like, "Okay, you want a drink?" I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah,
He was broken.
I mean,
So I
that's
can't hold it against him.
that's a tough time to meet somebody when the one girl's fucking Chris Angel and the other one just gets on a plane.
Yeah.
That's a tough time to make a new friend.
That's what we were talking about. Aging.
And then
That's
I don't
when-
want to fulfill his porn fantasies. Like,
Sure.
That's a bummer.
yeah.
For
so
him, yeah.
That does make me not happy, but the fact that even a guy like that, who you think had everything, also had fucking sand kicked in his face.
Yeah.
Lost a girl to someone else. One girl was like, "No, I don't want to do this."
He's like in his 80s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time to wait for that to happen.
Good run.
Yeah, those are things that have happened to me throughout.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Humiliations. So why did she just leave? And did he ever get an explanation as to where she went?
Well, she still stuck around. She was still his girlfriend.
Oh, she just didn't show up for the wedding.
She just didn't get married to him. But
That's
then he ended
hilarious.
up promising her like all of these things after he died, and she still got all of that.
Oh, my God.
He
She figured
wrote
the
her
whole
in
thing
a-
out.
Yeah, she's like, and the day that he died, she comes out with having a boyfriend.
Look at her.
The day
huh?
he died?
And then she was like, I've been dating this guy for 2 years. And it's like, okay, y'all are just fucked up. Y'all have all kinds of shit going
I
on.
guess Hefner knew that. Like maybe they. I don't.
he had to know.
There has to be an arrangement. Like, look, I'm 80. I'm
Yeah.
fucking 85. Was he 85 when he died?
He
90?
was so old. So I'm sure it was just like nurses.
Did he ever hit on you or no?
No, the only time I really ever talked to him was that like one moment, because I didn't go to the Playboy Mansion a lot. I never lived there. I was not. I didn't hang around there. I had shit going on.
That's what's up.
I was like busy. I was using all the exposure, and I was just creating my own personal brand.
Are there like different mentalities there? Like people like yourself who are using it to go, fuck this, I'm going to wind up doing a lot of stuff. And then some people who are like, this is going to be my thing. I'm going to be in the Playboy family, and that's all I'm going to do.
I think a lot of these girls were so young that they didn't like really know what to do. And they were like, oh, as long as I'm here, I have opportunity. But I saw it as having some opportunity and going and doing something with it.
Right, because eventually it stops coming. The opportunity probably stops.
And Playboy is so temporary.
Not yet.
I was lucky enough to be in it for 4 years. So, and I loved it. I had an awesome experience.
Is that a long time for someone to be in there?
Yeah.
What's the average, like 2 years?
2, if you're a playmate. Otherwise, you can do other jobs. Like they used to have special edition magazines that would come out, and it would be like lingerie or the swim edition. And it would be like, it wasn't the actual Playboy magazine. It was like the side magazines that they had.
Right.
So a lot of times a girl would just come in and do a photo shoot, and they would pay you $500 to work all day in 8 different looks. And then you'd get published in the magazine as like one page. And then that would be your whole time. And you could say, oh, I worked with Playboy. But I hosted a show in Argentina for 3 months. And then I did a lot for the TV channel. And then I did all of the magazines. And then I did the cover. And then they tried to get me in porn.
And then the orgy.
Yeah. So
then
that was
orgy.
The whole trajectory.
So you basically got what you could have gotten out of it. Like you did everything you could have done. And then the last final thing, you're like, no, fuck this.
I did so much more than like a normal person would have done with them.
What was the show in Argentina?
It was called Playboy Trip Argentina. Probably one of the most embarrassing things I ever did. That's when I was like 21. And it was just 4 playmates running around Argentina. And every day we would do an activity. So like we'd go whitewater river rafting, or we would shear a goat or milk a goat. And then at the end of that day, that's me on the far right with the long black hair. Yeah.
Wow. That's your goat milking outfit?
That was my goat milking outfit.
That's cool.
Milked a goat in that. So
why is it embarrassing? Was it a bad show?
Oh my god, it was just cringe, the whole thing.
Girls in skimpy outfits milking goats. Why is that embarrassing?
I mean, look what I do for a living.
It was just they made us like say weird stuff, and like we had to pretend like we didn't all like get along, and then we'd be in the van, or they had like a Playboy what was it, tour bus, and they pinked it all out and it was all fluffy, and we had to be in there, and they had to get us naked because it was Playboy.
Sure.
And so they're like, how are we going to like get these girls naked? And so then they'd have like a little, all right, Lauren, you're going to look at Shanna and you're just going to say like, wow, that bra is really ugly. You should take it off. And then Shanna, you're going to look at Danny and you're going to be like, yeah, and your underwear don't match your bra, so you need to take those off. And then Lauren, you're going to get up and you're going to walk naked to the bathroom and then grab a banana and then come back and you're going to hand it to Jacqueline and you're going to say, hey, this would look better in your mouth. And like, just the most,
Are you Lizzo?
like, just the dialogue was terrible.
Yeah, that's those assisted reality.
Cringe.
Yeah, and it's never really funny or creative people feeding you lines.
Yeah, and because 4 girls hanging out, like they're never gonna get naked, but this was to fulfill a fantasy.
Especially when it's like naked reality TV. That's like a step removed. Like the writers are just whatever we have to just whatever.
Get
just,
to make it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that when a guy watches this, I guess it is the fantasy of this is how playmates act when
This
they're.
is what they do. They're so dumb.
Yeah, nobody wants the reality of it. Like, where are you? I'm shitting. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a fun reality to hear.
Yeah, on the way to the bathroom, you grab a banana. You don't do anything else. You grab the banana and you come back.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
That's how people are.
The coolest part of the
what you would
show
do.
is that they organized a photo shoot after every activity that was in coordination. Like we did one that was like under a waterfall, like after whitewater river rafting, and then we would all do a photo shoot with this awesome photographer, and that was beautiful. So there's like one aspect of the show where we're all modeling naked, and that was rad.
That was the part of it where the photo shoot was like, all right, that's made it worth.
Yeah, but the acting
was not fun.
Are you still doing horror movies?
I try not to.
Why?
They're so bad.
What are you talking about? I have not seen it, but I feel like Attack of the Killer Donuts would be right up my alley.
My favorite.
It sounds great.
That's the best one I ever did, and I've done
that's the one
a
I'll
lot
watch.
of them.
Yeah.
I'm like the B movie, horror movie person.
Is it like, was there a production company that was like, we've got a whole slew of B horror movies and you're just going to be it? Or did one roll into the other?
No, people see me and they think, I want to kill her.
Right.
How are we going to kill her in this movie?
What if a donut
What if a donut
killed her?
grows some teeth?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
And then we kill her while she runs around prancing in her underwear.
That sounds great.
Oh.
And then I get attacked by donuts. This movie was actually hilarious.
Sounds awesome.
Dandy Donuts is the place.
Yeah.
Attack of the Killer Donuts. That's Kayla. We have the same last name. It's Kayla Compton, but we're
Hey.
not related.
Oh, is that an evil
There's some
scientist?
sort of green
Evil
thing in the donut.
scientist.
Oh, no.
Donuts.
Oh, they're
wow.
not even large donuts. They're standard-sized donuts.
They're
Yeah,
like
wow.
eclairs.
Yeah, that's right.
The donuts are alive and mutated into killer donuts.
Oh, that guy figured it out.
Yeah, he did.
Is that our C. Thomas Howell?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
That is him.
Tommy Howell. That's our guy.
There's me.
Look at you running
Bouncing.
around.
Yes, and you're not even running fast. You're just kind of running
No.
up and down
Yeah.
very slowly
It was
around the car.
high knees. When you work out, they're like, high knees!
Oh, those donuts are so creepy looking.
They're killer donuts,
With
Jim.
teeth.
Yeah.
Gotta
See,
roll
there's
over the
Tommy
place.
Howell. That's our guy.
Shooting them. Why are there so many donuts in the house?
They blew up the donut shop.
Look how many donuts there are. There's a million of them, like flies.
Wow.
At least, yeah. And I'm sure the.
Was this the whole movie? It was good.
Pretty much.
That
You
looks
just
good.
saw it.
That looks great. Yeah, I feel like Attack of the Killer Donuts sounds amazing. Clown Town and Killer Camera Monsters also sound.
Killer Camera Monsters, I don't know what that was. I had an agent and he was making a movie. And it took him like
That's always a good sign.
I'm telling you.
When your agent goes, "What if you were in
My movie."
We keep it in the family here.
I don't even know if that movie was ever even released, but he would use all the actors, get all of them to work for free. And he filmed it. It took him like 4 years.
A little something in this
It
business
was a passion
called
project.
exposure, honey.
Yeah.
The exposure is going to be great.
I don't think there was ever a script.
No?
I think he just like would film scene by scene.
A struggling photographer gets more than he bargained for, discovering the truth of what his new camera is really capable of. So is the camera itself a monster?
I think every time he would take a picture of a
Right.
girl, she would turn into a monster.
Okay.
But yeah, this was this agent that I had. That is not me, by the
I was
way.
about to ask.
That is not me.
So you've never actually seen the whole movie, or you have?
This is the most I've ever seen of it.
You didn't grab a DVD?
No.
Do you
Okay.
go to premieres?
Um,
And do you like watching yourself in front of an audience, like do a film?
Are you asking her if
I-
she went to the premiere of Killer Camera
No,
Monsters?
because she said she'd never seen it. But there are, I mean, the
there
other,
was never a premiere.
the
I wouldn't
donut
have
movie
been.
had to have
I'm
had
pretty
a premiere.
sure there's not even a DVD.
Right, I don't think so.
Did the donut movie have a premiere?
It's not the donut movie.
I forgot.
It's called
Attack of the
Attack
Killer
of the
Donuts.
Killer
Donuts. I like the donut movie too, though.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson should have made a cameo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I never went to the premiere
Oh,
of
you
that. I've been to premieres, but usually they're like bigger.
Then Attack of the Killer Donuts?
I know it's hard for not the horror movies.
Huh.
Like I usually do. Like I was on Showtime. I was on a show called I'm Dying Up Here.
Oh, yeah, there's the Jim Carrey
About
show.
stand-up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
About
so
the
I
Comedy
did like
Store in the
a
70s.
bit about that, and I went to a premiere for that, and just some like other stuff. But no, not these horror movies.
Who did you play in that?
I was Bachelorette number 3.
Okay.
That was my name. And so on the show, I was on the season finale, and the main character is trying to pick a girl to date off of the dating game show, and then I had a 3-page scene with him.
Oh, that's nice.
It was just a co-star or something, guest star. I don't remember.
In the movie Hell Girl, did you get to play the titular role?
Oh, I always play the titular role. That's my role. I have the tits and I die.
Right. Yeah,
That's me. That's me in a nutshell. I have a long toe, big tits, and I die in every horror film.
So you did pass away in Hellgirl?
Of course I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Tom, what's the guy's name in it?
Bergeron?
No, who's the main character?
Tom Green.
He was in Saving Private Ryan.
Tom
Skerritt?
Tom Sizemore.
Sizemore.
He just died.
Yeah.
He just died. Yeah.
Sizemore, rest in peace.
Yeah, he died?
He just
He's
died.
dead.
Yeah, he had a brain aneurysm.
He died a while ago.
Yeah, maybe within the last 8 months.
Oh, no. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
Damn.
passed on.
Yeah.
Wow, I guess I can tell you a story about him then.
Sure.
Because he'll never.
No, he's dead.
He's passed on.
Yeah, he's dead.
So when we were filming this movie up in Big Bear, he helicoptered in some prostitutes.
Nice.
We all were staying in these cabins, and he had like a cabin a little further away, and he had a big drug problem. Loved cocaine.
He did.
And so one night, he like didn't show up to set for like days, and he would helicopter in and out different prostitutes. And then one day they went over there and they're like, you have to come to set. We have to get you on to do this stuff. He was so fucked up that he goes and he tries to put his hand on this truck to like lean on it to do a scene. And he just misses the truck completely and goes, whoo, and just face plants in the gravel. And we're all like, oh my gosh. Meanwhile, there's another prostitute helicoptering out. And we're just like, this guy is a shit show, dude.
It's a shame. He was such a great actor too, and he just was such a mess.
He lived his life.
It's a shame, yeah.
He was a complete mess.
Did he finally pull it together?
You mean for the filming?
Yeah.
You know,
Hellgirl?
for Hellgirl, I think he only had a couple of scenes to film. Because you know how they shoot these independent movies like real fast?
Yeah.
Like you got 30 days from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And so I think he was only supposed to work like 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, that's like
Bruce Willis was doing a lot of
A
those.
staple of that where you have a day rate and they'll get a big star
Yeah.
for one day.
Yeah.
And it's like you just shoot everything you possibly can in
that
one
one
day.
day.
Bruce
Right.
Willis was making a living doing that,
Yes.
like huge. I mean, there's small movies, but for him, he was probably making, I'm gonna guess, $1 million a day or
For
whatever
sure.
it is, and just bang a bunch out. Who gives a shit? Like, why not? You've already done all your amazing work.
You get him in a movie and then you can sell it, especially overseas.
All you want to do is put him on the cover. That's what they said, like Frank Stallone, who I love, Frank Stallone.
Sure, who doesn't?
He did just a ton of horrible B action movies, and he knew the only reason that he was in these movies is so they could put Stallone above the title. And he was like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
they still pay the same. It doesn't matter. So they'd be like Stallone, and then it would be this bad movie. Because back then, you would go to the video store.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have seen any of these trailers. You couldn't YouTube stuff. So you'd just be like, oh, it's a Stallone movie. I'll check this out. And you put it in. It's Frank Stallone.
You're like,
You're
He's
like,
on
"Fuck,
his
I
way
got duped again.
to the Bean Factory.
Did you have any scenes with Tom Sizemore or no?
Yeah. He picks me up on the side of the road and then rapes me. And then
sorry
I
to hear
die later that day.
Oh wow.
I end up face down in a empty swimming pool.
How was he? Like in a scene like that, was he?
He was
professional?
really,
Was he-
really
he was
nice.
good? He was good, right?
Yeah, he was. But you also didn't even see that scene. You just kind of heard it.
Oh, okay.
But he, as a person, he was always super nice, and you could you always feel the worst for those people.
Yeah, we had him in here. He was a good dude.
Yeah, we had a few times he was in.
Yeah.
He was. Sometimes he was good, and other times he was a little testy. You know, it was just part of.
Yeah, he
being-
probably hadn't had his morning cocaine that day.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, but it's just he was such a great actor, and when you see a guy who's that good, and you watch them throwing it away, you're like, fuck, like
I know.
you're better at this stoned out of your mind and falling off a truck than I am sober.
He was so talented.
Yeah.
You could even see, even when he would act, it was like a little mesmerizing because he was just so freaking talented. And he would look at the page and just like throw it aside, and then whatever he would say would be better than the dialogue was anyway. And it was just like, dude, get it together, man. We like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame, but it was an aneurysm, and I think that his family just said like he's just not going to come back from it. So they
Yeah,
just-
Plus, you still got to do Hellgirl.
I did.
So
I
that'll be
did.
forever.
Yep. Hellgirl was cool. I don't know. What was the other one that you said besides the
There
the
was
clown one.
Clown
Oh yeah.
Town.
Tell me about Clown Town.
Clown Town?
Yeah, Clown Town.
girl goes into a town with some friends. Their car gets stranded.
I've seen the poster before. Like I've seen the cover art.
Yeah, this was it was shot really well. The DP was fantastic. But yeah, so our car gets stranded. There's 4 of us, and we just start walking around the town trying to find a way to get our car to start working. And nightfall comes, and we realize there's evil clowns out and about who have tripped a wire in our car.
I hate that.
And they go and try to murder all of us. And then I save the day.
You do?
I'm the hero in this one.
You don't die?
I don't die.
Final girl?
I don't die.
Final girl?
Final girl.
Ooh.
Is it scary or is it kind of campy and fun?
Oh, it's so campy.
Okay.
They tried to make it scary, but it's not.
Clown Town?
It's not. I don't think any movie I've really done has ever been scary. It's all campy.
They're doing the quick camera thing with the camera, like the little camera jumps
Yeah.
that really good scary movies
This was
do.
like a really high-end student film.
Was Brian Nagel the filmmaker or an actor? It says
So-
Brian Nagel movie.
That's so weird. Brian Nagel's this guy in the blue shirt right there.
I believe he's known as B-Rock.
You know, he's the brother of the director, and together they funded this movie. And
Oh, so
put it
this was
together.
a full-on Nagel production.
Oh, it was a Nagel Entertainment piece.
Gotcha.
I mean,
By the way,
they
you're right.
finagled
The camera
did.
work in
their
this,
way into this movie.
the fucking camera work in
that's
this
a
is
badass clown.
unbelievable.
Look at that clown. That guy rules.
And they're all friends. Like they're like all these guys were. It was kind of like the one that my agent made, only better.
Yeah, this looks better.
It's way better. But like everyone was a friend of the director. They only cast me and the other girl, Katie. Everyone
Yeah.
else was like a friend of a friend. Like
But-
he was a friend of the director. She was a friend of the director. He was the makeup artist in
Wow.
Ohio.
That's probably why he looks so good. Like
Yeah.
that's why
He
his
made sure he
clown
took
makeup-
care of his own
Yeah.
face.
He
Yeah.
was like a badass special effects makeup artist. Him and his girlfriend, her. They owned this makeup special effects studio in Ohio, and that was the director on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how like
That's how they do these movies.
that's awesome. That's how like Terrifier and Terrifier
Yeah.
2 started. The filmmaker is just he's a special effects guy. That's what he did. So he's like, and then he wrote a movie around it. And
Yeah.
he started directing, and that's why you have all this like cool shit in that movie.
But that
one's a
trailer is
cool
not
one,
bad, though. That's not a bad trailer at all.
No,
and you're
I
right.
like-
A good director of photography.
I watched Clown Town.
Yeah.
The DP was out of this world. So if you watch it, it might not be the scariest thing ever, but it looks
Professional.
so good.
Yeah, when you said that, and I'm looking at the trailer, I'm like, yeah, this guy's great.
He rocked. Yeah, his name was Ken.
Did he do other horror films, or was that?
I think he went on to do some other stuff. I mean, I hope he did because he was extremely talented.
Do you
I
know
don't
a
know
movie's
what else
bad
he
when
did,
you're
though.
doing it? Like I've done some things where I'm like, oh, every morning actually. What are you doing? I mean, and you're like, do you ever have that where you're like, oh God, what do I, like this is just not a great project?
I mean, that's how I felt at the Playboy offices.
Oh,
You know, I was like, this is not the movie for me.
I never walk away though. I respect the fact that you walked away. I've finished them. I've just done them, and you're like, fuck this.
Well, you're spineless.
No, it's not a spineless. I mean, that's part of it, but it's not a fear of upsetting them.
Yeah.
It's like a fear of saying nothing else is ever going to come, so I might as well take.
That's
Yeah.
probably right.
Yes.
I don't know what other ones I've done. Have I done only horror films? It's been so long since I've acted.
Do you like acting, or are you
I do like
happy in the spot
acting.
that you're in?
I do. I think that with the gift of social media and
Yeah.
all my sketches and stuff, I can do my own act outs.
Right.
And they take way less time and I get way more exposure.
Yeah, like for talented people, the idea that you can just do it yourself is so appealing that it's almost like, why would you not?
Yeah, as opposed to working on something like Hellgirl, where I got to go stay in a cabin for 30 days in Big Bear with some prostitutes helicoptering in and out, and then get
I mean,
paid.
that doesn't sound that unappealing.
Honestly, you that's why I want to be in the show business.
And the thing is, too, is these movies never pay anything.
Right.
Like, I think
Because
that...
they never make anything.
I know. But the
There's-
contract sucks, too. Like, I don't get any of the back end off of any of that.
You didn't get any back end off Clown Town? Oh, I can't believe that.
I know.
Oh, that's awful.
I
And
only
the
got,
money.
like, I don't know, $1,000
Right.
For a month of work?
Meanwhile, the director of Attack of the Killer Donuts is just cleaning up.
I know.
Yeah.
And the Nagel brothers?
The Nagel brothers are doing very well.
They are
iconic.
Next level right now.
The wealthy Nagels.
They just got hired to do Fast and the Furious 45.
Wow. A Nagel production.
I really hope they call it the Finaglers.
I think they should.
All the money goes into the big star. Like whoever's the big name in there, that's where most of the budget goes.
Yeah.
Was Tom Sizemore the big star in that movie?
For sure.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I love to act, but I would have to have a way better offer than just the big-titted bitch that dies for $1,000.
Do it if you're doing something at $42
for
million.
Before I was like down.
Yeah.
I was like, I
$1,000?
couldn't say yes fast enough.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
If you're getting 42 million views, it's not. What are they going to offer you that's going to do more than that? Or 10
Yeah.
million views? It's nothing.
$1,000.
$1,000.
That's $1,000.
That's like a lot of shoes to cover up my problems.
That's right.
Did they stop monetizing people on Instagram?
Now I think you can buy the blue check mark.
No, I mean like the didn't their like creator program go away on one of those platforms?
Reels.
Like Reels maybe where they were monetizing Reels.
Oh, is that? Oh, I don't know.
I never made any money off
I never
it, so-
make any money off of social media, really. It's weird.
Why? Do you have so many views? I'm sure you would.
I would say like brand deals are the only way around it. I tried to join the Creator Fund on TikTok, but if you do that, then they suppress your views because they don't want
to pay out.
you. So then it's like, okay, well now I'm not making any friggin' money and I'm not getting the views. So I got out of
So you can't
that.
get your brand deals because you're not getting views. Yeah.
So I just personally will reach out to brands that I really like and that I want to work with, and I'll send them a pitch deck and what I'll do. And
Oh wow, you actually reach out to them. They don't reach out to you.
no, I do a lot of the reaching out. I'm a go-getter.
Hi, I'm Lauren Compton. You might remember me from Killer Camera Monsters.
Or Attack of the Killer Donuts.
Attack of the Killer Donuts.
Shout out to the Nagel brothers.
Right, I have a weird foot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love your product.
Do you need a sock extender advertised?
Yeah. I've always wanted to do a Tampax like sketch. I've been trying to get a hold of Tampax.
Yeah.
So if you ever get a hold of anyone with the tampon industry, please let me know.
Travis?
Yeah, you have any connections?
Thank you. All right.
Travis is just a customer.
Yeah, Travis. No, he's a content.
Jim, how would you feel if your girlfriend asked you to go to CVS or whatever your like convenience store is and get her a box of tampons?
More shocked than you can imagine.
Yeah. I believe the words would be, for what?
Why? What are we doing with this? I'd be less shocked if she asked me to go and get her a space helmet than a tampon.
To do what? Decorate the house?
Okay, John Lovitz.
Oh, wow.
Tampax, birth control, none of it.
You've been listening to SiriusXM's Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. New episodes every Tuesday with full shows weekday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Channel 103. Visit SiriusXM.com/Jim and Sam for a free 3-month special offer.